Hi everyone, welcome to a new video that might be the beginning of a new series, my art series. Technically my EV design video could be the beginning of such a series, but after a suggestion from one of the comments on that video, here is Redrawing My Old Art. Starting off this video, here is the first piece of art that, along with the comment, is the reason behind this video. Long before I got into digital art, I was always a big fan of watercolor in early high school. This is one of the few pieces that I'd done with one of those sets you can get at the dollar store that usually aren't super good quality, but the quality of the art isn't based on the materials, it's what the artist does with them. In this case, I made sort of a logo-esque set of flowers and leaves with the full range of colors from the palette. I'm just as proud of this piece now as when I made it a few years ago, and I mean the digital version doesn't have as many colors, but it does appear much cleaner with a digital do-over. Enough about that, the rest of this video is more focused on people, or I guess characters. Back when I was younger, even younger than when I used the watercolors, I had and still have a set of Ohu markers, both colors, and a skin tone pack. Of course, that's where these designs are now useful for a digital redo. Starting with the first person in the sketchbook, I was inspired by watermelons for the outfit at the time, believing I could take inspiration from anywhere. I have no idea where the blue hair came from though. I wasn't even a fan of Hatsune Miku back then, so I guess I just randomly picked a color. Anyways, back when I'd only draw from the knees up in my sketches, which applied to the rest of the people in this video, the shoes were an idea I took from the pose I used and not from the original drawing. In this case, I mostly just wanted something fun that had the full body in the picture, and I got that. I have the watermelon-inspired outfit, the Hatsune Miku coloured hair, again, no idea where the blue came from, and some quality shading. I'm pretty sure the style of shading I do is called cell shading. I take some dark blue, colour in the layer above the colour, use multiply effect, and lower the opacity until it looks nice. And it does. On to the next character. Before I get started on the characters part of this video, I'd just like to make a few announcements here about a couple things. First and most obvious, I have a new PNG for my avatar. The old one was from this Picrew, link in the description, but I finally made one for myself that I'll be using from now on in videos and streams going forward. Second, thank you all so much for 50 subscribers. If you have any suggestions on how to celebrate, drop your ideas down below and I'll see what I can come up with in the next video. This second design is one that actually reminds me of a friend from high school based on the outfit. I associate her with skirts and the colours black and purple. I'm unsure if this was drawn before or after I met her. Regardless, the traditional part of this piece was somewhat of a test regarding the darker coloured markers I had, as I wanted to still have a solid black outline but a visible difference between it and the dark grey colour of the shirt. Obviously this didn't go so well in the traditional version, but the digital re-render allows me to create a distinct difference between the two that allows you to see the difference between the outline, the shirt colour, and the shading. Speaking of which, the colour of the skirt in both the original and the redraw came out great, with a soft lavender colour that has some shading on the traditional piece from a few years ago. Given the pose I used for this redraw, I decided to make the beanbag orange to contrast with the purple palette in the outfit. The only thing I might change if I did this again in the future would be the length of this arm. It feels off to me, possibly too long. Let me know your thoughts below on what you would do to improve this design. One more thing I changed between the original and the redesign is how the outfit would appear in the character's body. In the original, the shirt was supposed to be a cropped long sleeve and the skirt had no belt, but for the redraw I felt something was missing and decided to make the shirt into a regular long sleeve, so I added the belt to bring attention to the center of the character's body. I also added long socks as inspired by the original photo I used for the pose and brought out more of the purple. Overall, I think this design came out very well. The final of the solo pieces is actually an OC that I named but never had anything done with besides designing her a few years ago. I drew her based on one of those 30 days of drawing blank challenges with the topic witches, and prompted seasonal witch. With autumn being my favourite season both back then and in the present day, I consider this a personal favourite of mine. And is it just me, or does this pose have a similar attitude to Sunset Shimmer? Might be the jacket that's giving me the feeling, but since Sunset is one of my favourite characters from the My Little Pony Equestria Girls series, I say this is a good sign of a good design. The digital version came out just as I hoped, and even though I plan to use a conductor pose as a reference, for a witch holding a wand, you know, in the end, this redraw looks stunning and this character named Autumn may appear in future art challenges. Overall, this design has no major changes to its outfit, but the hair isn't as detailed as the original design. However, I love the design regardless, and maybe I'll draw her in a different outfit video. Finally, the trio of designs. I'm pretty sure this one was also a test on what colours worked well together in both terms of pens on paper and in terms of character design in general. I'm unsure where the clothing ideas came from, but while doing the digital drawing, it kinda reminded me of the Cutie Mark Crusaders from My Little Pony, particularly this one character on the right with the apple on her dress. Yeah, I know that's twice now I brought up My Little Pony, but it's been one of my childhood favourites and the reason I love animation so much. Bright colours, clear stories with character growth and still leaving room for theories, it's a pretty good piece of children's media. These designs somewhat mimic that childlike feeling that the animated shows will create. Back on the topic of this piece, I guess this character in the middle may be the same one from earlier with the watermelon shirt, just with different hair color. Who knows, maybe she'll be a consistent character in future art videos like Autumn. As for the others, whose places I switched between the traditional and digital pieces, I wanted to make sure they all looked close to their original designs, taking some creative liberties. After all, it's my designs, who says I can't change them? But with that, here's the final piece of the trio. I decided to leave this one faceless and unshaded, as I've done some art in the past that I haven't shared on this channel yet, but still in that unshaded and not so detailed style, and I like this style very much and may use it in future videos. So that's it! Which design do you like best? Do you want to see these characters designed again in a different art challenge? Let me know in the comments below, and of course leave any constructive feedback too. And if you also use Ibis Paint, is there something you use when drawing that you'd like me to test out? But that's all the time we have for today, so don't forget to like and subscribe, so I'll see you all next time. But wait, I have another announcement. I finally have a Ko-fi page live and ready for you to connect with to see things like art previews, thumbnail previews, and maybe even sneak peeks of upcoming videos and other exclusive content. I hope to see you there to support me, and I'll see you soon!